What? Well, hey, surprise! Look who's here. So glad you found us. Welcome to Weekday Wagers, the Tuesday edition. So glad you were able to find us here. And yes, we're running a little bit late simply because, as you will notice right there, you got a poll question. We're going to get to this in a second. The Weekday Wagers trifecta. You're going to vote for the play that you want included for that third leg. We cashed last night. That's so excited. But before we can get into that, I do have to bring in the one, the only Mr. Robbie Hockey. Where's right there? I hate this when this technology does this to us. All of a sudden, it's like resetting everything. But first of all, Rob, how the hell are you?
Man, doing great, Mark. I got my Marky model hat on since we're going to the Upside Down Day to talk a little Stranger Things. So I thought it fit.
I like it. I almost wore mine. I just noticed that yours. I was like, oh, we've been twinsies. Before we jump into that, yes, I can't wait to get into Stranger Things because they dropped 4 episodes for this first round and a lot of twists, a lot of turns. I can't wait to get your insight, your kind of breakdown of what you thought about this so far. Before we do that, can we talk about last night's game, what happened on the football? Yeah. First of all, any takeaways that you had coming away from that game?
Yeah, Jackson Dart better learn to slide or he's going to have a very short-lived career. I mean, and it was a clean hit too. He decided he wanted to tiptoe and act like he was going to stay in bounds so the defender did his job and he laid him out. So better learn to slide or it's going to be short-lived. Other than that, it was a snooze fest for me. I think New England pretty much controlled that game from start to finish.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. You know, I think that Jackson Dart is his own biggest enemy simply because he doesn't have that quit. He doesn't have that, okay, I'm going to duck out. Because he's going to be competing. He's going to be scrapping for every yard. Unfortunately, those guys tend to have very short shelf lives in the NFL simply because they can't, see Tua. For example, he gets out and runs all the time and he's paid the price of it. And I think that with Dart, he's got to really figure out a way to play it safe and just get out of bounds. I mean, you got the yards, get out of bounds.
Exactly. I saw Tosh put in the chat, how about them Sharks? He called them out yesterday on the chat. They were, I think, plus money, a good plus money, and they handled their business against Utah last night. So great look by you on that one, Tosh.
Exactly. And as Kevin points out, it was not a snooze fest if you had the over 45, because I was all over that over, and it was getting dicey there for a minute. I thought they were going to take the foot off the gas pedal and kind of ease into things, and thank goodness they did not. We do have this to get into. Our first ever, the Weekday Wagers trifecta. First of all, this is a lot of fun putting this together. And I think that we have kind of dialed in a way that we can incorporate the people's parlay versus us throwing together a couple of maybe alternate picks to really put something fun together that has a really decent chance of hitting. I mean, we started last night. We went 1-0. The chat, it was Mr. D. Johnson who gave us Hunter Henry with 3 receptions. I think he finished with 4. Theo Johnson ended up with 29 yards, and Villanova won by 16. So great way to start the week with a little trifecta. What you're going to have to do now as you're joining us in the chat is take that poll. Pick that leg. The odds that you see there are the final, because Robbie and I already have our picks in, but we're not going to share that with you just yet. The odds that you see on those corresponding picks are what the final odds would be if that is the pick selected. So you'll see a very tolerance from 136 all the way up to plus 195, depending on who you like and what you think has the best shots of winning. I can tell you that the options are Brad Marchand to get at least 1 point. He's done this in 20 of the 23 games this season. He's been on a point spree. Michigan State on the money line, The model has them winning this straight up 75.9% of the time. And then we got the Minnesota Timberwolves also on the money line. Model has them winning 81.4% of the time. So go ahead and make your selection, get that in. Once this show is over, we'll be cutting it short and putting that People's Trifecta out for all of you to participate and join us in. But Rob, we do have games tonight. I mean, we got a ton of basketball, college basketball, NBA, hockey. I can't wait to get to your picks, and we'll do that right after this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's gonna turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Once again, thank you, Seabass. If you didn't know, he did that in one take. I'm going to go to my play tonight, and if you're picking in the chat prop that I like the most, I think it's pretty clear. I like Brad Marchand to get us to plus 195. But I'm also going to pair him with Brandon Hagel. And just like Marchand, Hagel has been on a heater as of late. He scored 8 goals in his last 5 games with a goal in 5 straight. He's averaging 20-plus minutes of ice time, and he's averaging a point in almost dinner every game this season. He's been killing. Tampa's playing a lot better. The reason why I really like this play is because the Islanders have sucked to the left wing position. They've allowed 7 goals to the left wing position since November 26th. So if you're doing the math, I think it's like, 4 to 6 days, somewhere in there. So give me Brandon Hagel for 1+ point. And I'm also going to take Brad Marchand of the Florida Panthers to get 1+ point. He has a goal in 13 of 23 games and a point in 20 of 23 games. Look, close your ears, Toronto fans, because I know you don't want to relive this, but he absolutely dominated the Maple Leafs in the best-of-7 series. Got 3 goals and 5 assists against Joseph Wall, who he'll see tonight. Toronto has not been great defensively at all this season. I love both of these guys just to get a point at plus 128.
Let's get it. I don't know why it does that every single time. I don't understand it. I'm also staying on the ice tonight. We're going to take the first period in the That is not. Hold on 1 second. That's what it should have been. We're going to take the first period under in the Capitals and Kings game. Logan Thompson, Darcy Kemper in goal for Washington and LA. Darcy Kemper has not allowed a first period over in any of his home starts this season. The guy has been an absolute beast, holding teams scoreless. If a team is going to score, it's going to be the Kings. Guess what? Logan Thompson has done very well in the first period in his away starts, where he's held teams scoreless in his last 6 road starts. He's held teams scoreless in the first period. I love this for a very low-scoring contest to begin with. The line here for the overall game total set at 5.5, which means the books are not expecting a lot of scoring. Let's start that non-scoring in the first 20 minutes. And now, Rob, let's get those picks out of the way.
Before you do that, I did have one quick one, because Joe can't do point parlays. Anthony Cirelli, Brandon Hagel's line mate, 1+ point at plus 100. He can be streaky. He doesn't have a point in 2 games, but he's on the same line with Hagel, who's been absolutely killing it. They're both in the Islanders, who suck against the top line. So, Joe, if you want just a solo point prop, I love Hagel's mate, Anthony Cirelli, and that's at plus 100.
There you go, Joe. I love, you know what? I love when Robbie caters up a play specifically for Joe. That is the kind of OG in the saloon, the first in the saloon respect that one demands. And yes, we can cater to it. And Robbie does a fantastic job doing that. As you can tell by our Weekday Wages logo being upside down, maybe in a parallel universe. We don't know. It could be. We just got to find the portal. There is a show called The Weirder Things, Stranger Things. Weirder Things, Stranger Things, Odd Things. Anyway, on Netflix. I enjoy it. I know you will also enjoy it. They just dropped 4 episodes, and I don't know about you. Did you binge watch all 4, Rob? Because I did.
Oh yeah, Sarah and I on vacation. As soon as kids went down, we stayed up to I think 2 a.m. the night. I think Thanksgiving night we stayed up to 2 a.m. and binged all 4 of the episodes. It was really good. I was really excited, really happy with how the first 4 went. And I'm excited for the others coming up too.
Okay, so listen. Yes, spoiler alert. If you are a Stranger Things fan and you haven't had a chance to watch all 4 episodes yet, go ahead. Go get a beverage, go get a refreshment, go get something to eat, quick little snack. We're going to talk about it because the 4th episode, well, before I get to the 4th episode, because that went through my mind for just a boom, didn't see it coming type moment. The first episode, starting out, how do you think that they started this season? Did it get you excited for what's to come?
Yeah, and I mean, you think of how long it was laid off too, and how long we had between seasons. So I really don't think they had to do too much to get me on board, but I really did like the beginning of it. I think Nancy, a badass with that shotgun. Everybody was giving her crap that she's not a badass. She's had a shotgun, I think, since season 1. So right. I really like her. And then I couldn't remember if the mom scene where she fought the Demigorgon. I don't know if that happened in the first episode, but I thought that was really cool. See her actually take up for her daughter and everything. But yeah, started off with a bang.
That was at the end of the second episode when she fought with the wine bottle.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess without giving a whole lot away, but still, let's talk about what has happened. What has been the biggest shocking moment for you so far?
Probably her sister coming back, because I thought that they took the audience reception of that season where she met her sister and found her sister, and the audience hated everything to do with that storyline. So I thought they quietly just brushed her under the rug. So to see her come back and have a big pivotal role, at least they're going to pay off something with that second season. So I'm excited to see where her sister comes into play in this.
And I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. The dad calling Elle Jane, right? And because it's his missing or presumed to be dead daughter that is gone. And so him acknowledging that Elle may be his daughter I thought it wasn't a jaw-dropping moment. I thought it was very insightful, kind of giving us an idea of where they plan on taking this for this final season. The mind-blowing moment for me is Will. When all of a sudden Will ends up with these superpowers in the upside down world, and you realize that these kids can do these things. Do you think we see anybody else develop these superpowers?
Maybe Max, because she's been there and she's had a lot of interactions with Vecna. I could see that. The Will thing really reminded me of Harry Potter. Whenever Harry Potter was a Horcrux, so every time Voldemort did something, he could see it. But every time he watched or looked through Voldemort's eyes, Voldemort knew where he was. So I think there's a lot of connections with this and Harry Potter, which I love Harry Potter, so I wasn't too mad at that. But yeah, Will getting powers was great. I thought somebody had to have done something because they were outnumbered pretty heavily there at the end. And then for him to do that, and he got rid of that stupid bowl cut. So good on Will for getting rid of his bowl cut.
Yeah. The setting is in the 1980s, right? I mean, they're listening to Debbie Gibson on cassette. So let's be clear. There's mom's driving a Pinto, right? I mean, I remember those days vividly. I know some of that might be like, oh, really? You guys used to do that? But yeah, absolutely. And there was no internet. The cell phones were those huge walkie-talkies that they used. That literally was what we were doing. And so you go back and you look at it from a style perspective and an 80s perspective, and it's real easy to get caught up in looking for those little 80s Easter eggs throughout the episodes.
Yeah, Nate G called it too. One, I agree with Nate. He says that he thinks Eddie is Cass. It's like a vampire character, I believe, in Dungeons and Dragons. I never played it, but I remember seeing a lot of YouTube videos, and I think that makes a ton of sense because he died getting bit by the bats, and he's a big character, man. I think he's got to have a chance to come back. And then the arc of Will kind of giving him Bran vibes from Game of Thrones. A lot of Game of Thrones vibes as well. Vecna looks a lot like the Ice King, and then the big wall that they ran into really reminded me of the giant wall in Game of Thrones. So, yeah.
The ice wall?
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I think there's so many parallels to that. I mean, even, what am I trying to think? Lord of the Rings, going into the underworld and having all of that take place as well. You can draw some similar parallels to those. I do love that they are bringing up a book that I enjoyed when I was young reading, although it was mandatory, A Wrinkle in Time, and how they incorporate all of this. And you go along. What's so funny?
I'm reading Joe's where it says this is a different language. I have no idea what they're talking about. Now you know how I feel in Star Wars land this last week. I had no idea what they're taught in Star Wars land at Disney this week. I was just there for support. So
listen, and Joe, I'm telling you, go give the series a try. Don't start it at season 5. Believe me when I tell you, there is so much. It's like starting Game of Thrones in season 6 and trying to figure out what the hell is going on in time for season 8, the finale. Go back, watch it. It's a very easy kind of watch. Most of the time I had it on in the background as I was just doing work throughout the course of the day. It's a fairly simple watch, but it's well worth the time. You get invested in
also,
it very quickly.
I'm not a sci-fi fan by any means. Like I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I didn't like Lord of the Rings. So the sci-fi part, I'm not a huge fan, but it gives me Goonies vibes and it gives me 80s vibes from that era. And they do it without replicating it or trying to redo it. They have their own spin on it. So if you're into that kind of genre, I think you will like it. Because I trust me, Joe, I'm not a big sci-fi guy at all, but I love this series.
All right. So let's leave the upside down and get to the part that isn't upside down, but is equally scrambled. Because we're going to do a little light the lamp, and we got Cole Caulfield at plus 155, Leon Draisaitl at plus 115, Brandon Hagel at plus 175, big Nate McKinnon coming in at minus 115. It's not very often we see a minus on the board here. And half of the Book of Sam coming in at plus 150. Robbie, who do you like and why?
I'm going with Goal, as in Goal, Goal Caulfield at plus 155. Look, he has 4 goals in his last 10 games, but he's dominated Ottawa. He has 8 goals in his last 10 games versus the Senators. Senators are not a good team defensively. The last game played was on November 1st, and Cole got to go then. Give Mr. Goal Caulfield at plus 155.
Alrighty, I like it. You know what? I know there's some people who have the opinion that I am a chalk-eating weasel. I'm not going to do it. Not today. Give me half the Book of Sam. Sam Reinhart, I think that he gets the goal. And you know what? I think Brad Marchand passes him the puck. And that's how he scores. And we're cashing all the way around. Any thoughts on that one?
I love that look. Absolutely love that look. That's a big game tonight. If you're a fan of Florida and Toronto, it's a big game tonight. Marchand always loves playing the Maple Leafs. I think Toronto made the biggest mistake by not trying to sign him last year at the trade deadline. I think that would have really upped their chances. And yeah, I love Brad Marchand. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I always like Brad Marchand.
All righty. Well, we do have one question. Taj wants to know how you feel about Capri Sun getting a point tonight at minus 110.
Getting 1 point or 2 points? Because usually he's at 2 points. He hasn't fared very well against Edmonton. When I look back, let me pull up his numbers because looking at him, always look at him for a goal, right? Especially against the Edmonton defense that absolutely sucks. But when you look back at his last 10 games, as soon as it loads, I think he's only had 1 goal in his last 10, and I don't know if he had multiple points in any of those games. Here we go. So yeah,
while you're looking that up, I'm just going to remind everybody real quick. You've got literally about 2 minutes left. If you haven't voted on who you want for the Weekday Wagers Trifecta poll, go ahead and do that before we close it. So go ahead.
Yeah, so Kaprizov has 3 multi-point games against Edmonton, but that's dating back to 2022. So take that with what you will. I mean, Edmonton does suck defensively. And Kaprizov has been on a heater as of late. I think he's a goal, in 5 straight games. So not hating it tonight, just based on how bad Edmonton's been defensively.
Okay, and I am looking up because we do have a question from Rich. Rich, just call him maybe. See what I did there? That was funny.
I do.
Looking for the Duke, right? Florida Duke. First of all, your Gators are going into Cameron Indoor tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Any thoughts?
Florida's got to shoot the ball, and they've got to shoot better from 3-point range if they want to have any chance against them. I need Boogie Flan to play better against Duke's bigs because he has not been that great defensively. So I need him to step up. I need Alex Condon to step up and play like he did Broome of Auburn last year, really stand toe-to-toe. And they got to hit the 3, man. We got Xavier Lee, I think's his name, the guy we got from Princeton. He has not been that great since we've gotten him. So they got to start chucking up the 3 and hitting some of them. But Florida can score. I think Duke will do their part as far as the over goes, but we need Florida to be more consistent shooting for that over to hit.
And I think given Duke's start of the season, right, this is going to be the tallest backcourt that they have had to deal with so far this season. The front court for the Gators, boy, it's a step down from where they were last year, talent-wise. Yeah. But I think what helps them here is that the bigs can rebound, the bigs can score, and that's going to be a issue for Duke is how do you control the boards in this one? The model has this one projected at 159, Rich. So, with it being a close game, I just saw the odds. Duke's favored by 7.5 in this. But I do think that this could be one of those track meet games. And if either one of these teams starts lighting it up from behind the arc, this over will be sailed past with probably about 4 minutes left to go in the second.
100%.
Yeah. And DG says Duke should win by 22.
Well, he wins either way because he's Duke and Florida fan, so he really has no dog in that fight.
And Taj likes Duke on the spread, and I would just say that, you know what, there is a play up on justastatsports.com on this very game where I may or may not have taken Duke on the spread in this one. Let's get to where this poll is at. I got to figure out how to do this. All right.
Well, you're figuring that out. Scotty Too Hottie asked if I like the floor higher. I'm indifferent. One, I'm not going to bash a new coach because he took a job that, I would have taken in a heartbeat as well. I liked his energy in the press conference yesterday. It's a whole 360 or 180 from Billy Napier. Billy Napier, it's not often you lose your introduction press conference, and Billy Napier even lost that when he came to Florida. So this guy actually showed some emotion. I like that he said he's not going to hire his friends, that he's not expecting to do in lane at Florida. He's expecting to score points. They've gave him a $16 million budget to hire a staff. So all that money they save from Lane Kiffin, I'm glad they're actually going to put it towards something that's going to be good. We just took Kentucky's defensive coordinator who had them in the top 20 and even had one of the best defensive players, Hines Allen. I think it was around 2018 maybe. Dominant player, got drafted first round by the Jaguars. So I don't hate that hire at all. I'm just going to say, let me see what the staff does and let me see him coach a few games before I can say I'm all in. I do want our AD fired, though, still. I hate that guy.
That petition's still going around?
Yeah. I signed it, posted it. Yeah, 100%.
Well, we do have a winner for the poll today for the Weekday Wagers trifecta, and we are going with Michigan State on the money line, which means that our trifecta today is going to be a plus 179 little nugget. Should be nice, especially if we catch. You know what, Rob? I feel good. I think we're cashing this back to back.
I agree as well.
On top of our plays. Oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I think besides your point parlays and then the hockey, is there anything else that is going to be on your radar?
Yeah, Robbie's radar, because I usually start doing my work tonight for that. I try to knock out the early slate of games, try to identify guys in that slate, and then I usually wake up early in the morning and try to knock out the evening slate game. So hopefully Robbie's radar guys will be up and running tonight. I'll get us 4 guys for this weekend. At least we don't have any Thursday games, so I have a little bit more to choose from this week.
Do you see the way I did that for you? Anything
I do, man. You did.
It teed you up nicely on that one.
Sympathetic.
That will do it for us on this Tuesday. It has been snowing here in upstate New York in the Syracuse area nonstop for the last 2 days. Unfortunately, I have to go out and snowblow the driveway yet again. I'm sick of this.
Ugh.
Already. I'm sick of this. So, with that, listen, first of all, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will drop the short. I think Scotty asked if there's still a People's Parlay. There is. It's called the Weekday Wagers Trifecta, and that short will be coming out right after we get out of here. You will get both my play and Rob's play. Plus, we already know one leg, the Michigan State on the money line play. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We will see you right back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern with more best bets. Take care.